Hey guys, welcome back to Umineko. Hideyoshi's claim that was advertising double the taste was apparently right. After being chased out to the guest house, the kids and Nacho had gathered in the cousin's room and were eating the cake that Kumasawa had brought for dessert. That was both wonderful and high class, topped with lavish amounts of cream and decorated deliciously with fruits. But delicious as it was, it didn't taste quite as good for some reason. Without Good-san selling it isn't nearly as good. And if you ask Kumasawa to sell it, she'd just say it's made of mackerel. Ew, really? You could bake cake from mackerel? Oh, absolutely, and you can see with this very cake. If you mix the squeezed juice of mackerel with flours and eggs before cooking, it comes out all fluffy. Oh, that'd be incredible if true, but mackerel cake will show up on a new menu at one of Father's restaurants. After all, mackerel's full of nutrients and sounds healthy. It might really get popular with women and the elderly, but I'm not going to get anywhere near it. Girls wouldn't think that weird. The elderly would wish to decline. But it's delicious, you know. Kumisawa was really trying not to move with their classic mackerel jokes, but the sound of the downpouring rain kept drawing their attention towards the mystery guest. In the end, they showered Mariah with questions again, since she was the only person who had met Beatrice. I can't believe she's actually telling the truth. You make it sound like though you never believed it. This Mariah meets a witch. This is news to you. Yeah, I thought it was just one of those fairy tales you expect from a dreaming kid that age. But she exists. Beatrice exists. Every year when we come to the family conference, I meet with her and we play together. That's right. And although Beatrice someone doesn't usually show herself, I hear her sometimes unexpectedly appears before honest people with clean hearts. Oh ho ho. Beatrice referred to that character in the fairy tale about the Rokujima witch to keep kids in a good mood. The fairy and family and servants acted as though they believed in the witch of his delusions. That's how Rokujima fairy tale, or maybe story, had come into being. To the family members who knew the backstory, the fairy tale of the Golden Witch was a subject to be taken too seriously. However, they were never able to say that out loud in front of Kinzo, because of that the legend of the witch carried a lot more weight to someone like young Mariah, who didn't know the story of it, how it had come to being. That's why Mariah believed in the legend of the witch. She accepted it entirely. It was only natural for her to imagine this girl who believed in witches. So people who avoided saying things that would betray her dream. On the contrary, they had worked together to say and do things that would help liven up her dreams without knowing. So Mariah was showing us that candy that supposedly came from Beatrice. I figured someone simply slipped it into her handbag. I have done similar things a few times in the past, secretly hot places sweets somewhere. I imagine even Kumisawa rather of all service and everyone who share me and family has done it once or twice. So if I make a small innocent kid happy, you buy a place of sweets somewhere and have everyone joining on and keeping a secret life for her. Come to think of it, I'll bet you do that kind of thing all the time, George and Nikki. Who knows? I'll probably be bored starting such a thing out loud. George admitted while being extremely worried that Mariah didn't find out. In other words, it's kind of like Santa Claus. To protect the kid's dreams, the parents plot together and lie, setting presents at the bedside of a child fast asleep. After all, you want to protect the kid's dreams, right? Obviously, I know Santa doesn't exist for a long time now, but if there's no reason to wake up from a dream like that, I wish I believed it all my life. Because adults in the world is filled with terrible things. They all want to at least protect the pure dreams of a child. Ooh, Beatrice exists. Exists. Yes, she does. Beatrice, something exists, right? So time ago when I was trying macro to make something like these suddenly. Well, it's basically like that. Supposedly a test. Or at least. What? Okay, yeah. So simply put, this was supposed to be a wish that no one but Mariah believed in. And when it phrased it quite like that, the point is that we didn't believe, we were all trying to give her a chance to believe. So this is not about betraying child's innocence, but it does it exist in reality. If you don't want kids to be all disappointed when they learn the truth, you better off not showing them that dream in the first place. And it's a fact that I think like this proof that I'm so long away from becoming a full adult. The true nature of Rokujima, which was finally starting taking shape in Battler's mind. However, the current situation overrode this understanding, and in fact it completely overturned his very premise. So we thought we knew what was going on, but now Beatrice Sama, the witch, has actually appeared in reality. Is that it? And judging by how fricked her parents were, it looks like she was an uninvited guest. Now it's starting to get interesting. There's no reason for us to simply assume that a woman called Beatrice doesn't exist. It's what Uncle Rudolph called the devil's proof. None of us knew that woman calling herself Beatrice existed, but it's not the same as proving that Beatrice does exist. Dr. Nanjo, you made friends with grandfather for a long time, right? At one point in the family conference, I was questioned quite thoroughly by Croissant and the others. They wanted enough long ago Keizo-san might have had a mistress called Beatrice and an illegitimate child with her. I get it, our parents have their heads full with inheritance problems, so of course if the daughter of a mistress like that showed up, it'd be troublesome for them. Croissant and the rest probably asked Genji-san about it first. However, Genji-san, who is an aide, who swore loyalty to Keizo-san and probably far more trusted by Keizo than himself, I thought he told him anything, so next day he went to ask me as an old friend of his. And did grandfather have a lover called Beatrice, Dr. Nacho? He did. No, I haven't met her. However, I've heard from Keizo-san he had a relationship with a woman like that. He said she passed away a very long time ago. She's dead, so did the two of them have a kid? That I did not know, but Keizo-san always says that reviving Beatrice is the goal of his research. Usually if one loses a mistress, but a child is left behind to remember them by, they pour all their love into that child. Therefore, we naturally assume that there is no such child between Keizo-san and Beatrice. So that leads us to the devil's proof. Yeah, it's impossible to prove that child between him and Mistress didn't exist. So now that this child has actually appeared, we all have to assume that she did exist after all. It's a bit of a rush argument. It's more realistic that someone caught wind of the trouble with the Ushurami and family inheritance, knew about grandfather's relationship with the Mistress long ago, and impersonated her, trying to take a slice of the inheritance for themselves. Sure, that is realistic, but we can't deny the possibility that she really is an illegitimate child. One who lived in an unsolicited, forgot my grandfather, and he's returned for revenge, right? Revenge? What do you mean? Sorry, guys, just like dramatized stuff to make it sound interesting. I see too many weird dramas. Normally that might come off as a light joke, but the joke got eliminated after an uninvited mystery guest calling herself Beatrice had marched in on the day of the family conference with a bloody argument that the inheritance had took center stage. There was no way Battler's joke would be welcomed with laughter, so it was really a big help that when Dr. Nanjo laughed brightly to calm everyone down. I see, that does sound quite intriguing. I would love to read a novel with a plot like that. Well, I don't think it would actually work. After all, right now, this island is 1, 2, 3, 4, 18 people, right? If anyone tries to do something weirdly, they'll immediately get caught, and thanks to the typhoon, they can't even leave the island. In other words, if you try to commit some crazy crime, you'd be screwed. I agree, in that end, without any escape, in a situation where everyone is really suspicious of her, I seriously doubt she could pull off a terrifying revenge drama like that. Probably not. In that case, it would be more realistic if she had come in secret without making her presence known. I simply cannot imagine someone paranoid that would take revenge of some historical drama. Well, who knows, right? Revenge is based on emotion, not logic. If you got someone willing to go down along with their opponent, they might not be afraid of anything, not even the police or large numbers of people. Jessica-chan, none of the disturbing things we're imagining will happen. Like that battle royal between our parents over the inheritance is disturbing. That's right, that and Nicole Doodle are pretty tough. And that Eva's even trained in martial arts, well, it'll be fine. Yeah, and Jessica didn't say it out loud, but she vaguely noticed that her own father stooped in opposition to all the other siblings in the inheritance issue. They usually play nice in front of the children, but when the pretense was lifted away, like it had been at dinner, the result would be a tumultuous uproar. If you realize it's only natural for Jessica to be frightened at that thought that her parents might get caught up into some kind of trouble and become human sacrifices for something terrifying. Seriously, George Enke is right. Nothing's gonna happen, even if she pretends she's a witch, fucking a single human woman. Blah blah blah. Alright, I heard it. His son and creepy laugh made all of them jump, and then they realized the strange laugh was coming from Mara. They were shocked again. I see, so that's how you see it, Battler. What is it? Don't laugh all creepy like that. You accept Bitch's existence for now. At least you accept there is a 90th person and a guest. But that's all, right? You don't accept that 90th person Bitch is a witch, right? Of all crazy things to say, of course that's what I think. Witches couldn't possibly exist. The only possibility is just she's a human woman claiming to be a witch. Is it that odd, Battler? That's the devil's proof, isn't it? Of course witches don't exist. But just because you never met a witch, that doesn't mean you've proven that witches don't exist, right? That's right. You're not wrong there. I can't prove that witches don't exist. However, even if I can't prove it, I can claim it. I claim that witches don't exist. Why? How could you claim witches don't exist even though you can't prove it? That seems like they don't exist. So that's QED. He finished your proof that any evidence or basis. Now there's a typical case of the ignorant, willfully ignoring the shallowness of their own knowledge, irregular suspicion or thought. Then there's only one way to resolve this riot. The witch's side needs to show some proof themselves. The devil's proof again. If you bring me a devil, we can end this right now. In that case, you could just get this woman calling herself bitches to display some wonderful, magnificent magic like twinkling stars. All she has to do is show us something that's impossible for humans, right? Come now, you two. Please settle down. Couldn't someone notice that the atmosphere between them was getting worse and tried to calm them. It seemed as though Battler quickly realized that he was acting like an adult. Mariah's expression didn't loosen. As she laughed creepily, she kept staring at Battler. You quit it too, Mariah. Let's get back in a good mood, okay? If that's what you want, bitches will definitely show you something impossible for humans. When she dies, you'll believe too, okay? You'll believe in Beatrice. Sure. If she lets me have a look, I'll believe. It's a chess debate between the witch and you, Battler. If you get checkmate, you'll believe in the witch. Oh, I like the way you put that. The witch shows her magic, or my keenness put into check. I'll quibble saying it'd be possible to reproduce her feat using measures even a human could take if my keen escapes. Failing to do that would be checkmate, so that's a pretty good analogy. Battler and Cheshire, and you and your opponent are happy since I move in the same way. You can predict your opponent's moves, but you know what? What you unexpected is that your opponent will be somebody with a moving ways far stronger than yours. You simply assume the sister witches must not exist. The movements that Beatrice's pieces will obviously be the same as your own. But you know what? Sorry, Battler, but your chess partner is a human. She's a witch. She can move her pieces in ways that humans can't. Right now, your understanding is flawed. Battler, you like Kyrie's chessboard thinking, right? Yeah, I like that style of thinking where you stand in your opponent's shoes. And that's why you'll get stuck. Even though your opponent's a witch, you won't accept it, so you can't understand the moves a witch might make, and your chessboard thinking won't work. Your knowledge of your opponent is mistaken. The very first premise of a chessboard thinking is broken down. So that's your game. You cannot win at chess against a witch. I don't know what happened after that. We servants were strictly ordered not to approach the dining room. I see. So, Shannon, you ever met this person called Beatrice before? I don't know. That was slightly I would say it. I didn't quite saw that she was saying the memory was hazy. For a servant, Beatrice I was the second master of this mention. Some people say we spread that rumor because of masters of fluids, but even when I just started working here, the story of Beatrice time was already being whispered of. I've heard about it before. If you don't show her respect, you'll get cursed. At least one servant actually did meet her with an accident, right? Yes, but it's true that some people believe more than others. I believe respect for that sort of thing shouldn't be forgotten, so I never doubted she exists. I really believe that a shadow thing called the Golden Witch existed, and that witch existence was so shadowy and obscure actually showed herself and turned openly to the entrance hall. Is that what happened? I don't know. I don't know anything. When you brought her dinner, did you talk about anything? No, nothing. I see. Still a witch that eats food somehow doesn't sound so realistic. Maybe after all, it's just someone who knows about the witch legend on this island, someone who's taking on Beatrice's name. I think you probably come to respect Beatrice and think of her as something like a guardian god of the mansion. So when a person that appeared actually going by that name, maybe you were a little disturbed. That's right. I guess that must be the case. George was slightly at a loss on what to do with Shannon's downcast appearance. Maybe not just Genji, but even the young servants had ruthlessly pushed as to whether they knew anything about this Beatrice person. Thinking that, they tried to cheer up somehow. Surely, just like Mariah and Jessica, Shannon was unable to fully hide the agitation caused by the sudden was that this person calling himself the Golden Witch. He made sure that was the case. He was so sure that was the case, okay. But George probably had no way of looking into Shannon's heart. Shannon was bitter and sad. The door to the Golden Land would be opened. The witch had definitely told her that. That meant the demise of everything. Even if she accepted the ring from George, they would never be married now. No, in the first place, the furniture like her even had the right to be married. Even the witch had come to signal their demise. Was it their relationship fated to fail sooner or later? Had she turned her gaze to focus solely on the fun days spent with George while purposely closing her eyes to sad reality? What's wrong? You really haven't looked well for a while now. George Sound, what does it mean to be engaged? Huh? It means making a promise to marry, but I think in essence it means the same thing as marriage. To be honest, I want to take you home as my wife right away, but right now I'm in the winter of training, and I'm still a long way from having the capacity to create my own castle. That's why I want to take you home with me, with my head held high, only after I become a full adult. I'm not talking about the distant future. I just wanted to wait. I just want you to wait a short 3 years, but that doesn't mean I want to lie about my feelings for another 3 years. So I decided to give you an engagement ring. That might be a shameful reason as a man, but it's shameful to get engaged because I want you to wait since I can't support my work and wife at the same time yet. But I would definitely thank you very much. I understand that to you, George, signing an engagement ring is something different than one of many presents you give to a lover. Of course, it's different. An engagement ring isn't a simple accessory. It's an oath between lovers, a noble promise slipped in the form of a ring. Giggle. So if we were given to marry right away, it'd be completely meaningless, right? And then it would be an engagement ring. I'd be giving it to you as a wedding ring. Either way, I'd still be giving you a ring. So soul sign like saying this woman is mine, nobody touch her. No, that's not what I cough. George knew that he was weak by nature when he been capitated by Shannon and had sworn to become an excellent man. He had also sworn to throw away that weak part of himself, so even if he had to be blunt about it, he chose to answer a little roughly. He was sure that doing so would bolster and reassure Shannon. No, that may be true, Sayo. I'll make you my wife. I won't give you into anyone else. I'll make you mine alone. So no one will lay a hand on you. That's what this ring is, without a doubt. Thank you very much, George-san. I'm truly happy. Then George-san, it was decided by fate that this engagement ring, that this promise could never be fulfilled. Will you still give it to me? Shannon tried to ask that, but she swallowed her words. Because George had already spoken the answer, George had said it. He said to him an engagement ring was infinitely similar to a wedding ring. Therefore, he said that George's ring had a significance far more sacred than a promise to marry. So I'll stop caroling this an engagement ring. From now on, this is an engagement. It's a wedding ring. Is that really okay? It's okay to just proclaim that we're married and without God's blessing. Yes, enough to tell Godfather and Mother about it afterwards. We'll tell them all about what we've been married. We'll tell them all that we've been married. No one will be able to undo it. George-san, I'm not saying this because of a momentary emotion. I'm not just looking at how you are now. I'm looking at you this tomorrow, the next day. I'm even gazing at you as you'll be in old age in the future as I say this. You always talk about that, George-san, about how you want to enjoy your old age slowly, surrounded by healthy children and grandchildren. Yeah, at the time and older you will be beside me, and this is what I expect, know what I foresee, yes. Because that day will surely come. Will it surely come? Yes, surely, definitely. And this ring proves it without words. Please show me. Huh? Here it is. George Stuckey is being told to show her the ring. Hurriedly took out the ring box. Even though he had practiced so much, he had been able to do it cool. But Shannon wasn't looking at that. In her straight, dark gaze were vague tears of a smile. She focused hers on George's eyes. No, on something that she could see beyond his eyes. Please show me that future. Yeah, I'll show you. Surely, I promise it. And not just till old age after we die too. Even when we become spirits, we'll always be together. Shadow wiped away her tears and took the ring box. Inside was a diamond ring worthy of bliss of the two of them. George said online that he had practiced over and over again inside his head. I want you to put this ring on whatever finger you like and have that be your answer. So by tomorrow morning. Sharon smiled, took the ring, with a completely natural movement, put on the ring finger of her left hand. It really had looked like such a natural, ordinary movement. And for a while, George was stunned. This is why I answered George's son. Shannon, no, Sayo. Even because spirits will always be together, George's son. There's no blessing from God, no pastor, no witness, nothing, but the two who are married proclaim that two souls were joined here today. Okay, here we go. I thought the game froze. Son, you're a fool. Is that so? Even though you're furniture, I'm not furniture, not anymore. Liar, why are you fooling yourself? Even though you know you could never become a human, even though you know you can't become human unless you go to the Golden Land, knowing that, why did you abandon the promise that you would let you go there? Alright, by considering the promise would be just almost comes to nothing, doesn't it? I'm sorry. From now on, you, George, Simon, the Master, and anyone else are under the same conditions. 30 people will be sacrificed, other 5 people will be invited to the Golden Land, and you, rejected in one of those places yourself. That's odd. It looks like you're the one with regrets, Kennington. You know what regrets are in you, son. You got engaged, right? Even though you knew it was a fate that would never be fulfilled. Yes, the problem is that we would always be together for eternity. So you know what? In that instant, our eternity was completed. Even if we could become sacrifices, it was already completed. So it's okay. Ken, you're the one who actually has regrets. We're furniture, right? We'll be free no matter the result. So it doesn't matter whether we go to Golden Land or not. And yet you're set on going there. You need to become human no matter what, right? Why? Because I want to become human. I've had enough of being furniture. Why? I wanted to fall in love too. Tears were coming from Ken's eyes. And he howled. I liked my lady, and after seeing my lady that day, I started liking her even more. And when I heard that my lady also liked me, I was really happy. I'm furniture, and I can't accept my lady's feelings. You're wrong. We may be furniture, we may be less than human, but that doesn't mean that we aren't qualified to love. I thought that if these feelings would never come anything, I better off not be having them. I just decided that eventually I'd disappear, and I definitely hurt her. No, that's wrong. I was just frightened. I was just afraid thinking that any love that couldn't be eternal was best avoided. Even though their lives was only a few weeks, cicadas fall in love and then vanish. But you'll never find a cicada that refused to fall in love simply because it ended in a few weeks. Ah, God. It seemed like Ken was still muttering his regrets, but by now it's all jumbled up with sobs. That was just detestable. Why did she play these feelings at me? If only she hadn't pulled that bizarre prank. I wouldn't have paid my lady any notice, but it just, Sama is detestable. To make you cry bitter tears, you play games with your fate. But I don't think things went as to what she expected, after all. Knowing love isn't regret that ties you to life. It's a destination we're supposed to reach in our journey through life. No, Ken, that promise you worked so hard for now has come to nothing. Cackle, cackle. Very well then, with this conditions for all pieces are the same. There are 18 pieces, 13 will be offered as sacrifices. Who will the 5 survivors be? Or else, will someone destroy the ceremony? Who? How? Fwahaha. This isn't a chess problem, it's a game on equal footing. I won't be coordinating you one-sidedly. You'll be able to frantically skip my advances and force a tie in an invalid match. Anyway, I doubt you can manage to run repeating that over and over, and it probably won't be that difficult for you. However, this invalid match will continue forever until it eventually wears down your mind and kills it. The other is when you'll accept your defeat and surrender to me. There's a reason I said it was a game on an equal footing, and that's because rules of my loss have also been established. There's nothing as boring as a game you can't lose, right? As for how to defeat me, that would be the epitaph that stands as an offering to my portrait. It's both the way to open the door to the Golden Land and the key to destroying my ceremony. I'll try to complete the ceremony in accordance with the epitaph. You'll try to solve the riddle of the epitaph, destroy the ceremony, and overthrow me. Solve the riddle hidden in the epitaph, and expose the location of the vast sum of gold I gave Kenzo. What result was the game to show us? I'm expecting a good fight, okay? Entertain me, assure me a battler. I have no objections, and I acknowledge it. I can't believe it, and I don't want to, but this is the truth, isn't it? Now, so choose your words more carefully. This was family's honored guest. I also acknowledge it. Can't argue back. Yes, I acknowledge it. I have absolutely no complaints. I can't believe you have my honest respect. Me too, incredible. I genuinely respect you, so I have to acknowledge it. I acknowledge it too. I still can't believe it. Still, what can I do? You have proven devils. It's your victory. Cackle, cackle. The devil's proof was a convenient excuse you like using to hurdle unimprovable matters. By now it's become your mortal enemy, has it not? Don't torture me, mighty witch. I've already acknowledged you. I resign. Carry these self-objections. I must have everyone in agreement. If you alone will not acknowledge my existence. As the witch laughed boldly, the siblings started getting frantic. They were afraid of displeasing the witch. Carrie lightly closed her eyes after keeping silent for a while, but her mouth. My apologies, I resign. Only Carrie faced the witch's stern eyes until the end. However, this has only resulted in her refusing to accept the truth for a short time. The truth of being that was before her eyes couldn't be denied. Devils had already been proven. I also acknowledge that you are Beatrice, you sure me a family alchemist and a user of a great magic. I must acknowledge the fact you are a witch. Yeah, chapter 2 is like so much interesting compared to the first chapter so far. Well, I mean, not more interesting yet because, anything, killings haven't happened yet, but it's going at a better pace than the first chapter did. I guess that was more of a chapter to explain things, and I just realized I left that TV on in the background. This is still going on, so I better turn that TV off before this goes any further. This is going really slow. I guess this is a way to prolong how long the visual novel is by slowly doing a very slow slideshow of the house. Because this is taking a while, isn't it? I'm sitting here pressing enter hoping it would skip through, but it's not going to, I guess. Even this is going slow too. Oh, they're all having their own little face thing, like they did in the first chapter. First chapter. Are you back to talking yet? No? Such a random time to do a slideshow. Oh. Wait. No. This might be the end of this part. I don't know yet. I might be advancing to the next part of the chapter. Where's that clock at? Okay, we just saw her. We don't need to see her portrait of her either. Maybe we do. Okay, guys, I will be taking a break here. I'm not stopping the video yet. I'm just going to take a break, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, by the way, it says the second day. I just wanted to show that real quick. As soon as it loads back up, I'm taking a few minute break. Just to get a quick drink and catch my breath up a little. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, guys, I am back. What is that sound that always fills my ears? Is it the sound of the rain, the sound of the waterfall, or could it be this radio static? If not, I want it to be the sound of the blood flowing through my body. I want it to be the sound of the blood circulating throughout me, telling me that I'm still alive. Is it morning? When the light entering through a crack in the curtain was faint, but at least it told him the dawn had broken. Kenzo was still in the position he had been when he woke up, still sitting in a chair and looking up at the ceiling, felt the blood slowly travel throughout his body. Judging by the clock, it was early morning, 6 o'clock on a dot. No matter how tired he was, no matter how deeply he slept, he always woke up to exactly this time, as though he had measured it with an hourglass. He didn't think of this as something to boast about, but he told himself that as long as he could still manage this, his health couldn't be that bad. The morning has come, which means it would appear to have been what had become one of the first sacrifices. Was I merely lucky when the roulette was spun, or is this the fruit of my efforts? How irritating, I cannot tell the difference, but I mustn't be bothered by such trivialities. Kenzo was struck by a faint desire to see beyond the study door. After all, he might find the traces of someone's vain struggle to break through the door, as a sign that someone had tried to select him as one of the first 6 sacrifices. Humans are cheap creatures, even though everything is ultimately decided by God. When humans are given good fortune, they arrogantly feel it was due to their own ability. That's why he wanted to check whether there was a registered mark on the door. The very desire was human, and that was why Kenzo did not check. He often rejected desires that came to him because he was human. By doing that, he couldn't be immersed in a feeling of sufficiency as though he himself had become being that surpassed humans. He recognized human desires for what they were and guarded them against them. Things that human wanted to do, he resisted. This eccentricity and rebellious nature had surely given him a rare genius, making it possible for him to succeed in his exploits as he revived his Umineko family in a single generation. Well then, Beatrice, what were the 6 pieces you took? And what will your next move be? Entertain me. My defense is perfect. I will not shame myself like last time. The servants woke early. They had to open curtains, prepare breakfast, and complete various other tasks to welcome guests to a new day. Goda was the most enthusiastic. During the family conference, he had been told to concentrate his efforts especially on cooking, and he had been especially exempted from several tasks that servants normally must do. Goda, who was a show-off, seemed to be feeling particularly superior because of that. He let Genji and the rest prepare the rest of the mansion and worked on the making breakfast in the kitchen. Genji split the work with Shannon and Cannon, and they carried out various tasks. Shannon headed to the dining hall and knocked. Last year, the family conference had continued into the early hours of the morning. It wouldn't have been odd if this year's conference had done the same, considering the possibility that they were still having a discussion inside. She knocked, but there was no response, so she opened the door and said good morning. Good morning. Is there anyone there? No one was called, and the conference seemed to have ended a long time before. There was a tea set on the table from which they probably been drinking arranged in a way that would make it easy to clean up. Clean up the tea was the servant's job. If the family members were extra generous and cleaned up themselves, the servants would lose face. So it was truly a pleasant act of kindness for the family to do only this much. As she approached the table to clean it, she noticed unlike a mammal that had been left near the utensils and cups. Since it was right next to the tea set, Shannon picked up a naturally thick as a memo for the servant doing the cleaning. Written there was not a request or was the things for preparing the tea. There was just a single word. Shannon looked at it blankly and read it out loud. Chapel. Do they have a chapel in the Umineko family household? I don't know. Maybe. Kenzo doesn't seem like the religious type, and neither do the servants. A small sound kept repeating over and over. Normally that sound would be too trivial to be worth caring about. If only I could stop hearing it soon, I'd go back to sleep right away, she thought vaguely. But no matter how much time had passed, the sound did not end. It repeated over and over. Ah, shut up. Who is it? Banging on the door this whole time. As soon as she realized that she woke up, someone was knocking. And then she noticed that it was just a knock, but a voice as well. Rosa-sama, good morning. Wait, I'm coming now. And Genji's voice. Looking at the clock, it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. It was clearly too early to wake the guest. This would happen. That was bad enough to cause this. She felt her sleepiness increasingly fade thanks to this premonition of misfortune. Though Genji was a servant, Rosa had known him since her childhood days, so even though she was slightly defenseless in her pajamas, she opened the door and crept and answered. Did you see Rosa in pajamas? Oh no, Genji. Good morning, I apologize for waking you this late. Did something happen? Yes, actually at the chapel. Genji was with Rosa's ear. For a second, it seemed Rosa could understand what she's been told. After having it repeated several times, she realized that apparently the strange had happened. Rosa closed her door for a second, changed her clothes quickly, and followed Genji towards the mansion. Yes, they do have a chapel. Huh. So did they all die at the chapel instead of the garden shed this time? I don't know. The chapel requires some explanation. It was in the mansion, but in a grove behind a short walk's distance away, and built at the same time as the mansion, so though its walls have been repaired many times to make it look neat from the outside, it's a very old building. Rosa dashed through the rain along with Genji. Just like the previous night, the rain was falling in earnest. Eventually, the chapel came into the sight from beyond the thin grove. Just look at it from the outside. It seemed a place of dazzling beauty where a pair of young lovers might want to get married. However, Kenzo apparently viewed it as a very sacred place. So Rosa and her siblings had been given strict instructions not to approach it unnecessarily. Even though they were all grown up now, approaching the chapel for any reason would still make them feel guilty, and also afraid as if their father might get angry and hit them in the face. The servants' silhouettes could be seen from the chapel's entrance. Go to Shannon and Cannon, which meant that all the servants on the morning shift had gathered. A short while ago, Genji had spoken to Rosa, telling her what the situation was. However, without laying eyes on it directly, she definitely hadn't been able to understand. It was probably the same for other servants gathered there as well. Without seeing it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have been able to understand what was going on. And the door at the entrance of the chapel was with a very large, strong, creepy, stringy paint that made one think of blood, something like a creepy magic circle. What is this? What was wrong here? The stewards looked at each other. Godo was the first to open his mouth. My apologies, we don't usually enter this building, so we don't know when it was made. Then he was the first person to find it. It was me. When I went to the dining hall to clean up the tea set, I found a memo with chapel written on it. Sharon held out the memo with a shaking hand. Whose handwriting is it? Is it Nissan's or Nissan? So after that you came here and found this, right? Yes. There's time to look at this. What? Happy Halloween for what? Karen pointed at a single line of English for enveloped creepy magic circle. Until it had been pointing at her, she thought it was just another part of the magic circle. The following words were written in English. Happy Halloween for Mariah. Happy Halloween for Mariah. This creepy magic circle was for Mariah. Happy Halloween. Yesterday, only one person said Happy Halloween to Mariah. The key phrase matched. It was the golden witch of Beatrice. What about Mariah? She should be sleeping with her cousins, right? Did you check? My apologies, we just now realized that Mariah Summer's name was written here, as we still have not checked. Quickly. What are you doing? I'll go check on Mariah and come back. Tell Krusty to sign the rest too. After that, follow their instructions. As if saying that much, Rosa finally noticed that it was odd. Her own rank at a family conference was the lowest of the four siblings. Why had she been the only one to call during a normal situation like this, when the other siblings had been? Even Mariah's name had popped up. Could it be? What? Yes, we tried to cut the crust on him, but we couldn't find him. And when Madame was not in her room, judging by the condition of the she might not have returned to her bed at all last night. Rosa felt with a creepy crawling slowly up her back. Did you check inside the chapel? No, not yet. We tried, but actually the lock to the chapel is special, so the master key will not work. There is a single key that can open it, but that key is missing from the key box. She didn't want to get closer to the door with the creepy magic circle if she could. Rosa readied herself and approached it and tried pushing and pulling the knob. All she felt was the resistance of the sturdy lock. We searched to see if there was a window we could enter through, but I think we had to break one of the windows if we wanted to check inside. What do you think? There's no way I could give you approval to do something like that. This is Father's precious chapel. In that time, the events of the previous day swirled around the back of Rosa's mind. That's right, when I met that witch in the garden. Yeah, there's no mistake she did, no, but Maya did try to open it, and the witch told her not to do it yet, and she surely said that time to open that will come soon. Rosa assured there could be no mistake. And the envelope Mariah received was... After dashing back to the guest house, Rosa approached the cousin's room while finding her footsteps, softly opened the door and peered inside. From the inside, she could hear the healthy snores typical of young people. There were 4 children, and Mariah was there, sleeping soundly. After breathing a sigh of relief, she entered the room with quiet footsteps. She was after Mariah's handbag, which was resting on the sofa. Did I say 4 children? How's Mariah, Jessica? Okay, yeah, Battler, George, Mariah, Jessica. Okay, I forgot one of them. Okay. Mariah always liked carrying her treasures around with her. She was probably emulating how her mother's always carried her makeup with her. Of course, she was just imitating her mother, so everything on the side was junk. In Mariah's case, it was full of small, creepy occult items, notebooks describing things of the nature, and so on. Rosa had never been happy to see her daughter walking around with things like that, which weren't girlish at all. However, trying to force Mariah to stop had resulted in a big fight, so she decided she decided to let it be. Here, this is it. It was an envelope with the crest of the golden eagle. When she took it out of the handbag, she realized it was a heavy, vaguely cylindrical object inside. She could tell it by feeling its weight. There was no doubt this was a key. Oh, wow. After turning around and checking that Mariah was still around, sound asleep, Rosa tore open the envelope and the contents spilled out into her palm. It was a key with an old, intricate design. Rosa gripped the key and dashed out. Battler then noticed that sound after grumbling, turning over in his sleep. He started snoring again. Genji-san, could this key be the key to the chapel? Where did you? Yes, this is the key to the chapel. Rosa approached the creepy magic circle and once again put the key into the keyhole. There was a strong resistance. After it resisted for a short while, it stopped resisting with a clunk. And squeaking with a noise that hurt one's ears, it slowly began to open. Oh, they're gonna be dead, aren't they, man? With that one time in the shed, they couldn't find the key and they were dead inside of it. So I don't know. Is anyone there? Her voice reverberated throughout the massive room. Of course there was no answer. The chapel had a high ceiling, the air was cold, and even on this rainy, unsettling day, it felt sacred for some reason. The servants timidly followed after Rosa. Rosa, someone look at that. Cannon noticed it immediately and pointed. Over there was the altar. In a place that would normally have pastor preaching of God's love, there was a table that shouldn't have been there. After at first it looked like a dining table, there was actually gorgeous plates and utensils placed there, making it look like a child's birthday party or something. Upon closer inspection, the surrounding area had been decorated with pumpkins and black and orange ribbons. They were probably Halloween decorations. And there were people seated at the table, three on each side facing each other, seated in chairs. They could be recognized at glance. Cross and his wife Eva and her husband, and Rudolph and his wife. Okay, so Cross and his wife. So it's Natsuhi, right? So Cross and Natsuhi, Eva and Hideyoshi, Rudolph, okay. But if you wanted to be sure, you still have to go even closer and check, because they seemed almost like dolls. Rosa and the rest had opened the door, entered all at once. The sound of many footsteps. I called out, asking if anyone was there, and yet there had been no reaction. Even if Rosa and the rest assumed they were being ignored, you still expect there was some kind of reaction. And there hadn't been that. So at first it felt like someone had set down some dolls that would greatly resemble those people. But now it wasn't just Rosa. Shannon couldn't even go to. They're all fighting frantically with the creepy emotion that grasped their hearts. Nissan. As she walked towards the altar, she called out again, but there was still no reaction. Yes, but now Rosa was sure of it. She was sure these weren't dolls, but the people themselves. They grew close enough to see clearly what lay on the table. It looked like an adorable banquet reminiscent of the child's birthday party. Plates piled up with sweets, cute pictures with drinks, all kinds of pumpkin-shaped ornaments. They were all decorated in Halloween style. And while this probably was a time of thinking that Mariah would surely be delighted to see all this, there was to sit at the table they sat in front of apparently asleep. It was an eerie scene as though a small fun-looking Halloween party had been stopped in time. They were all sleeping. When she approached them even closer, she realized that there were all snacks scattered all over the floor. Candies, cookies, soda, and chocolate, all with heavily fantasy-themed packaging. They were all scattered across the carpet covered with blackberry and cranberry jam. Or, we know, blood. Rosa and Nurse finally realized what the situation was. It was a Halloween party, a banquet for those not of this world. Cross, Natsuhi, Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kairi were all sitting in chairs, apparently asleep, but all dead. But that's different, because I think last time it was different people dead. I mean, well, Kairi and Rudolph were dead, but I don't think Hideyoshi or Eva didn't die. Eva and Hideyoshi didn't die in the first sacrifice. And I think Natsuhi was invited to the Golden Land the first time. I don't know. So they're changing up the deaths. Okay, that's going to be really nice and keeping it a little bit more fresh. Okay. Even though I don't really want any of them to die, especially Kairi. Kairi's totally waifu material, but, you know. Okay. They're all sitting in chairs, apparently asleep, but all dead. How could you tell that they were dead, not simply sleeping? That was because they've been vertically sliced open from their chests to their stomachs. I guess also, Shannon was dead in the first sacrifice. Kurosama, hi! How cruel. The six of them had sat down to the Halloween party before, having their stomachs split open, killing them. Then that jam coming to the floor must be what overflowed from their stomachs once they stuffed themselves completely, right? No, the concept their stomachs had been all scattered all across the floor, and that wasn't all. Their stomachs is almost as though they poured out, as the snacks had overflown from there. Candies and cookies and chocolates had been poured out, stained with blood, and scattered across the floor. What could have happened to cause it? It's almost as though their stomachs were stuffed full to bursting with sweets, and now it poured out when their stomachs split open. Yo, that's weird. Rose remembered a certain shocking meal, a turkey that had been served at her own birthday when it had been cut up with a knife outflowed one of her favorite foods. But since she had been told what was inside, the deep red ketchup omelet rice poured out like bloody maggots, pulsing, dripping, slimy, pulpy, squelching. Ew, The trauma of these survived. Rosa felt like a monster raging inside her stomach as acid started to rise. Able to hold back, she threw it up all on the floor. Her empty stomach had nothing but stomach acid. The scene in front of her is no fun Halloween party now. The couples are enshrined right there, their stomachs vertically wrenched open with the so many supplements stuffed in there, pulpy, squishy. Blood and guts and sweets were overflowing onto the floor, blood-stained, sticky, sloppy, pulpy, sweet snacks that made your fingers stick together, gummy, but stained with entrails, sloppy, pulpy. What was that I stepped on just now? And I feel like candy or cookie or chocolate. I'm scared what I stepped on. I can't even look at the bottom of my foot. What a gruesome Halloween party. Far from away, it looked truly beautiful, fantastical, and fun, but from up close, it's horrible, disgusting, yet somehow still beautiful. Rosa's wild thoughts tried as best as they could to escape her throat with a loud voice that is neither a scream nor a roar. Cross-Sama. This is horrible, just horrible. Call an ambulance. Call the police. That's right, the police. Please. Her words so tight the reality hadn't come out good as his mouth. Rosa and the rest probably have found themselves unable to escape that nightmarish party even now. But it wasn't something because they thought the police might be able to do something. If they don't keep yelling about the police, it felt as though another scene might be set up at the demons' party and given to them. Their own chests felt like they were expanding unpleasantly from the inside, rambling, churning, and it was surely because candy was about to overflow from their stomachs. Rosa, once again tortured by the desire to vomit, threw her stomach acid up on the floor. And then she searched. She searched to see if there was any candy in it. Yeah. Anyway, cough. Rosa coughed violently again, forcing spitting out the stomach acid that had been burning in her throat. She realized that by now her whole body had been covered in filthy sweat. Genji-san, Shen and Shan, please contact father and ask for instructions. Go to his son. Go with Kanka and call the police and have a Dr. Nancho come here. Why even bring Dr. Nancho here? It's a bit too late for medical care. The servants accepted their orders and dashed outside. After watching them leave, Rosa once again stared at her siblings with whom she spent good time to batten their partners, though there could be nothing more tragic than this scene. For some reason, she was tempted to describe this fantastical death as beautiful. Yeah, that's way more messed up than the first time, though. They aren't here. Where did they go? The servant room and the kitchen are both empty. What in the world happened? Ooh, Mama. Where's Mama? My letter. The letter I got from Beato. Give it back. Wow. Perplexing. That look on her. You sure it was Aunt Rosa? Well, I was half asleep. I'm not too sure, but I get the feeling that in the early morning Aunt Rosa came in and fished around Mariah's back. I figured there's probably a tube of toothpaste or something in there. Why would there be a tube of toothpaste in Mariah's handbag? Looks like you're a little more than half asleep. Battler vaguely remembered Rosa entered the cousin's room. Also, when Mariah woke up from before the rest of them, she started rampaging around, saying that someone had opened the envelope she had been keeping safe. Putting two together, they figured that Rosa probably come and opened the envelope. A letter from the Golden Witch. I wonder what was inside. I don't know, but the envelope was for her grandfather's personal use, and it had the Ushiro Miya family crest on it. Whatever was inside must have had some connection to the family conference. She hadn't let anyone touch it yet, but yesterday Mariah showed an envelope off the Battler and the rest a whole lot, so they remember it well. Ooh, Mama, give it back. Mama, give it back. Ooh, wow. Well, if you're right, it'd be pretty important. Why would this mighty witch give something that important to Mariah? I don't get it. Every once in a while, their fresh morning atmosphere was completely wiped out by the sound of thunder. It was only natural, since the moment they'd woken up, they haven't met anyone else. It felt like they were left as if the mansion had become an empty husk. Hey, anyone there? Answer me. Jessica called on the hallway, and eventually an answer came back. It came from the entrance hall. I can hear you. Has something happened? It's Dr. Nancho, thank goodness. It looks like everyone but us has disappeared from this island after all. Dr. Nancho, good morning. I'm sorry, but do you know where our parents went? Dear me, I only just woke up and came here and you see. I know I know it for sure, but let's see. It's only natural. Nancho was a guest just like the rest of them. He come just now to pass the time in the parlor until breakfast. Ooh, Dr. Nancho, Mama took it. Mama took my letter. Give it back. Ooh. Mariah buried her face in Nancho's plump stomach, sobbing and crying. Nancho could do nothing but be rolled out of this ruckus so early in the morning. Someone's running this way. Jessica, someone's coming. From down the hall, they could sense people running hurriedly. They saw Goda and Kanka and tourism. Normally it would be disgraceful for a servant to run inside the mansion, and yet Battler and the rest didn't even think to question that now. Mariah saw it become so unimaginable they wouldn't ask someone anywhere where Rosa was. But the two servants seemed to have bigger things on their minds than Jessica, who was waving at them. Goda flew to the servant room, and when Cannon noticed that Nunja was there, he bowed and approached the doctor at a quick pace before whispering to his ear. "What did you say? Was that what son did?" "Yes, oh God, you so please accompany me." "Understood." This way. Without saying anything more, that Cannon finally noticed Jessica and bowed to her, but he wasn't calm. He dashed back down the corridor by which had come, followed up by Nunjo. By looking at how hurried they were, Battler and the rest realized that yes, something bad had really happened. They saw Goda through the door of the servant room, which had been flung open. He was holding the receiver and violently pressing the hook. From that, they realized he was trying to call a hospital or police. In any event, he was trying to call someone because a serious emergency had occurred. "Let's have a look." "Yeah." "I'm gonna give it back. Give it back my letter. It's an invitation to the Golden Land." They didn't know what, but something was happening. Battler and the rest chased after Ken and Nanjo. And then they realized that Ken had called Dr. Nanjo, but he hadn't called us, so we shouldn't have gone with them. I wonder if Alice regretted her excessive curiosity when she chased after that rabbit holding the clock. Oh, I was about to say, who the hell is Alice? They say put in someone else's name by accident, but no. Okay, I should have read that more before I said anything, or thought anything. Anyway, I don't know why I can't just cut back to the chapel. It'll be faster. Anyway, no, you must have gone. You must have looked. Jessica-chan, no. Eek, no. Mother, father, what happened? Ooh. What the hell is this? This goes way beyond bad taste. Isn't someone taking someone's life bad enough? What the hell is this? Going into all the trouble after they died of sitting them on the chair, sussing their stomachs and pulling their entrails out. You went to all trouble stuffing their stomachs full of sweets. Why the hell would you do something so fucked up? Damn it. Nice job, you bastard. Just great. Yeah. It would be best if I went outside. They certainly wouldn't want you to see all them like this. Not just told them to go outside, but no one listened. Rosenthal, please tell them if they keep looking at this, something like this, it will do nothing but harm. As they regret her own carelessness, she should have realized that the children would eventually come here. She should have quickly looked up instead of standing around stunned. So the children had come here, they'd seen it. Surely at this very moment they were having a sight burn into their eyes. This was far more grotesque than the shocking meal Rosa had witnessed in her youth. While she hugged Mariah, who seemed to be too shocked to show any emotion to this gruesome scene, Rosa cried for them and their parents. The four groaning and crying voices of her sadness continued to echo in a place that should have known God's love. You piece of crap. Again, another one of these murders, and this time he made it an all-elaborate, killing them like a total joke. Cackle. It was rather hoping you think of me, not the crowd in grief. Thank you. Did you say I should say thank you, you old bitch? Damn it, if there's something wrong with your ears, I'll cut them off so you can both hear better. So you can hear better. Why should I have to see that insane way of killing and say, oh, thank you very much, bitch, or something? I'll beat your brains out. In the last game, you lamented the fact that you couldn't see your parents' face after they died, yes? So this time I left them, didn't touch them. Take a good look for it. Without doubt, your father and the rest have been killed. Really, what a nice treat. I'm so fucking happy. I swore I plowed your face after I choked the life out of you, but I'll take that back now. I'll rip out your guts instead. Don't give in to emotion. Don't stop thinking. My game has already begun, alright? Cackle. And I said to leave you neat and tidy corpses this time. Do you know why? When you denied my existence in the last game, you used this line of thinking. Their faces were crushed, and so the identity of the corpses can't be confirmed. Therefore, we can eliminate the possibility that fake corpses were prepared to create an alibi. Unless that possibility is denied, a human culprit theory can still be built. Would you say... Kako, kiki. So Battler said, okay to leave the examination of the corpses to Nanjo. Isn't it traditional in mystery novels of doctors who perform such an examination to be an accomplice? Then don't leave the examination to him. Do it yourself. Make completely sure that without a doubt the 6 corpses and 6 people they're supposed to be that really are dead, not just pretending. If you wish to confirm that your father and mother have been killed by having their stomachs cut open and their entrails pulled out, you better stick your hand inside their stomachs and feel around. I won't cry, damn it, I won't cry. Battler suddenly yelled. His tears were still dropping down. But just so he schooled himself reading the 60, he slapped his face hard several times with both hands, and so the tears wouldn't stop. However, he felt a hot blaze in both his eyes. Whoever is responsible for this piece of work, I'll make them pay back their debt completely. So this isn't the time to cry. I gotta think about what to do. It's useless. It's all useless. If you got enough time to cry, then think. This is no time to let yourself cry. Other than genuine anger, maybe there's more of an excessive anger to blot out his sadness. However, this gave a little courage to George and Jessica, being crushed by the sadness. That's right. If we cry, it won't change the reality of what has happened. Damn it. Then what should we do? What should I do for Mom and Dad's sake? Rosa-sama, I have returned. Go to son. What happened with the police? What did they say to do? Did they say they think they'll be able to get here? So that, it seems the phones have been broken down. I also tried the emergency wireless, but maybe it's the weather, but that hasn't working either. What did you say? So we can't contact the police? It's that person. They did something to the phone line, made it so we can't reach the cops. So when they heard that the phones had been broken down, Jessica immediately decided that it was the work of their mysterious guest. Her eyes were bright red after so much crying, and they began to grow even redder with rage. There's no need to talk about it, right? I understand everything. That's right, I get it. Who killed Dad and Mom? It's obviously her. She's got to be that witch or whatever who came yesterday. I'll grab her by the collar. Damn it. Jessica Chan, wait. Go to son. Can go. Yes, ma'am. Milady, wait. Covering her uncontrollable sadness with anger, Jessica ran outside, torn apart by emotion. Thinking about it hastily, maybe that mysterious mystery guest would arrive yesterday. Beatrice was suspicious. However, in that instant, there was absolutely no proof that she was the culprit. At this moment, she's just another guest, no more, no less. So Rosa was making an adult decision and was forced to stop Jessica in her rash rampage. Goda and Cannon picked up on this immediately and chased after her. Could the guess that no one invited Beatrice be the culprit? I understand how Jessica feels. I wish I could think that too. It doesn't matter who. I want someone to be the culprit so I can bash him right in the face. But before that, we need to clear understanding of what's going on. Who is this Beatrice? I haven't even seen her face. If you're looking for her face, it decorates a big porch in the mansion. You still don't remember after looking at it for so long? Come on, Mariah. What's so funny in a situation like this? Beatrice is a witch, and the ceremony to open the door to the Golden Land has finally begun. Those 6 people are sacrifices. Come on, let's begin the witches' banquet. Tonight is Halloween, so now the witches will gather to celebrate. Mariah, I don't always tell you not to laugh at that creepy voice. Chris found her brother slapping Mariah's cheek. It echoed through the hall ceiling chapel. Ever since it started to rain yesterday, ever since the island was swallowed by the typhoon, I felt as though something was wrong. It was bright and sunny when I arrived on Okajima, but since I got up early and was sleepy, I took a nap. When I woke up, it already started raining, and ever since that time, suddenly a mysterious visitor calling herself Beatrice, it felt like I was sinking bit by bit into a bizarre world. What in the heck happened when I was napping? Am I supposed to believe that this island was sealed off inside a different world where common sense doesn't apply? Who's this person called Beatrice? Is someone unknown person trying to involve themselves with the inheritance problem, just like our parents were freaking out about dinner last night? Or is this culprit the switch from the Legend of Gold, just like Mariah said? Even if we set Jessica's temper aside, given the circumstances, it's probably safe to say that this visitor person is the most suspicious. But we must make up our minds based on that alone. It's useless, it's all useless. I struck my face with both hands again, cooling off my brains before they overloaded. It might have been a wasted effort. This is one of Grandfather's envelopes. On a tray piled up with sweets, they decorated the table. George and Nikki found a western envelope that had the Ushirimiya family crest on it, a gold leaf. And it was opened, which means it's probably meant for us, right? If there's something down on the other side, it should be opened. It seems the reason is correct. It's written right here. Someone wrote, to those who remain. Is that letter the culprit left? What's inside? And Nikki, let's open it. After nodding silently, George and Nikki broke the seal and a folded letter came out. I'll read it. Welcome to Rokenjima, members of the Ushirimiya family. I am Beatrice, the alchemist for this family employed by Kenzo-sama himself. That letter was really a joke. The Beatrice who called herself the family alchemist had announced that she was collecting the gold she lent grandfather along with interest. And the interest was everything grandfather created. Since this tragedy was right before our eyes, as this paragraph was being read aloud, it clearly wasn't referring to just wealth and that grandfather built up. It was literal, everything that grandfather had created. In other words, all the grandfather's descendants were included in the interest. You bastard. What a screwed up contract. Lives as interest for gold, you say. That's almost like a contract with the devil, isn't it? You think that makes you look more like a witch? Don't make me laugh. Special clause. However, if someone's able to discover the hidden gold of this contract, Beatrice must abandon these rights for all time. Kenzo-sama had already publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold within the epitaph under my portrait. In other words, it's something like this. These murders represent her collecting interest, and she's telling us to try and find the gold she gave grandfather if we want her to stop. And she's also saying that she's also saying that secret pointing to the golden is hidden in the portrait epitaph. So basically, this letter of the challenger from the witch, she's telling us to try and solve that code that points to the hidden gold if we can. And if we can't, she'll keep collecting interest as planned. I'll beat you to death. Bring it on. Battler gone. Look, look. The table was covered with sweets, so even though those stains were right out in the open, we just assumed they were sweets too. I mean, come on, you see a lot of them, right? You know those boxes of chocolate shaped like gold ingots? This is no box of candy. This is the real thing. This is a real bar. This is a real gold bar. It's inscribed with the crest of the one-winged eagle. I heard Mother talk about this earlier. This gold from Grandfather's Legend of the Gold. Gold ingots weighing at its full 10 kilograms. A whole 3 of them are piled up to the very center of the table. Here's where a cake would be placed if it was a birthday party. In other words, this was without a doubt the birthday cake of the party known as the family conference. If these are really 4 nice quality ingots, gold, it was worth about 60 million yen. Dumbass. That's too cheap. Our parents have been killed and all you got to spoil just 60 million yen in gold. Don't take us for fools, damn it. So it has begun, Beatrice. It's not like anyone can sell this riddle anyway, so Beato will definitely win. Quickly open the door to the Golden Land and take me with you. Okay, guys. I will be ending the video here, and I will see you guys later.